State Representative Lyndon Bateman of Idaho had an interesting moment where he cried. He cried on camera after there was a debate and a discussion about an LGBT rights bill. There were some people who were gay who went in front of the group and said, look, here's what I experienced. It was horrific. It really hurt me. It really affected me, and I don't want anybody else to have to go through this, et cetera, et cetera. So let's listen to exactly why this guy cried, and then I want to give you some details.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My heart has been touched by this hearing. I've gotten to know you, and I know that from this point on, forever, I will be kinder and I will be more compassionate to those who bear a heavy burden. Somewhere in Scripture it says that if we are not kind to the needy and to the lonely and to the afflicted and to those who bear a heavy burden, our prayers will not be answered. And I will be kinder and I will be more compassionate. While I'll support the original motion, I'd like to go on record that I will support a compromise. Thank you very much.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, well, what exactly happened here? He voted for the LGBT protections, right? Nope. He voted against the LGBT protections, and he's made that comment about, compromise, yada, yada. Well, there was no compromise bill. It's not like he said that and then he proposed a compromise bill, and it's not like this is an issue where you can compromise, because it's a basic issue of should the LGBT community be a protected class, yes or no? Should it be the case that employers cannot fire you because you're gay? Should it be the case that a business cannot kick you out if you're gay? He's like, I'll support a compromise on that. What's there to compromise? Either you're on the side of, hey, they're not allowed to fire you because you're gay or kick you out because you're gay, or you're not. There's no fucking middle ground to that. It's like saying, where's the middle ground to giving black people civil rights? There is no middle ground. You're either for it or you're against it. What do you mean a middle ground? So look at this son of a bitch. This sleazy fucking politician. He's like, I feel so bad. I've affected people in such a negative way. It's so terrible. Anyway, so I will be voting against the rights of gay people. Just for the record here, I want everybody to understand that. So what was the crying about? What was we need to treat the downtrodden amongst us better. I've learned something from this, which is why I actively oppose gay rights. They're so stupid, they're so goofy, they're so ridiculous. And look, maybe it's worse than that, right? Maybe it's not, maybe the guy is doing it on purpose. Maybe it's not just like he really feels touched and he's like, well, look, I'll move somewhat in their direction. Maybe he's like, it's getting to the point where it's hard to be against gay rights because we know how history is going to judge us. We know what the polls are. 59% of the American people are for gay marriage. So now it's politically convenient now to be for gay people, but he does the cry thing so people think, oh, he's for gay rights. But then, of course, he can go back to his base also and say, yeah, but did you not hear me? I voted against it. I voted against giving them rights. So maybe it's more nefarious. But look, I can't get over it, man. When I was watching this clip, at first I was so confused I had to read more about it. I was like, what exactly happened here? It really is the case that he cried and said, I'm touched by this, and then he voted against giving gay people protections. I mean, look, again, I hate to make the same analogy here, the same comparison, but look back to, imagine you had a Southern politician during the Civil Rights days who had a hearing about, you know, passing the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act and treating black people as, ending segregation and treating black people as first-class citizens, not second-class citizens. Imagine you had a Southern senator like, I feel so bad. We've been so unfair to black people, which is why I'm against giving them rights, but maybe I'll hypothetically support a compromise, I guess. You know what? I really think that these people don't fully understand. They don't get the idea, the concept of like 50 years down the road, 100 years down the road. Just like, what's his face? George Wallace, not the comedian, the Southern segregationist, how he stood in front of the schoolhouse door and he was like, "No, you don't get it. I will not allow any black people in here." Of course, he would use the N-word freely. "I won't allow them in here because I'm a moral person." But the dumbass just didn't get it, man. He didn't have the intelligence to think, what's this going to look like 60 years from now? Oh, that's right. I'm going to look like the most evil motherfucker that ever lived, ever. So they couldn't see it. They couldn't see it. It's the same thing today with the people who are opposing gay rights, man. They just don't see it. They're just not intelligent enough and objective enough to say, what will people view me as X amount of years down the road? I'll tell you how they'll look at you. A sleazy scumbag motherfucker. A moronic person. Somebody with a low IQ. Somebody who has no sympathy, no empathy. You're somebody who's abrasive and myopic and xenophobic and bigoted and intolerant, and I could go on and on. That's how history's going to view you. Congratulations.